Hi, you guys. It's your girl Hazel Dior back with another story time. Today's story time is going to be about when I burnt down the house when I was 5 years old. And my nephew and my sister was trapped in the house while it was on fire. But we're going to get into that. So, how are you today, lovelies? I'm well, thank you. Check out my artwork in the back. You love it? It's my name, Dior. It's like in nail polish bottles because I'm gonna be a nail technician like any day now. Look at my nails. First time doing my nails, bitch. I slayed, right? Period. When I was 5 years old, we lived out like near the country. I remember it was closer to the holidays. It was like near Thanksgiving. I was 5 years old, but I remember it very well. So one day, I was like really hyper as a kid. Like I was just bouncing all around. I remember my mom and my younger brother, which is 2 years younger than me, he was 3 at the time. They left. They went to. My mom used to play the lottery all the time. She went to go play the lottery. So she went to go play the lottery and probably, run to the grocery store and all that good stuff. So I remember my sister was there. Well, my sister and my oldest sister, she was upstairs with my nephew. He was a newborn, like 3 months. They was upstairs asleep because this was like early in the morning. My other sister was in the bathroom. She was taking a shower. And my other sister was in the living room on the phone. She used to run her mouth on the phone all the time. So that day, I was running in and out of my mom's room. We had this like, it was like the old fashioned type of air conditioners. It was green. I don't know if some of you guys might be too young to remember. It was like a old big like generator type of air conditioning that used to be around like, in the early 90s, late 90s, maybe early 2000s. And I would play around with it all the time, like push buttons. As a kid, you like to just push buttons and shit. And I would go run out to the living room and tell my sister like, the house on fire, the house on fire.
Mom! Dad! Why is there smoke in the house?
And she'd be like, boy, stop playing. Or whatever. No, she'd be like, boy, stop playing.
Fuck! Go sit down! Go sit down!
Then she'd go run in the room and see it was no fire. So I would go and do it again, like run out there and the house on fire and all that. And she started ignoring me because I already went out there the first time and played a joke on her, and she went in there and said it was no fire. So I went back into my mom's room, my mom and dad room, and it was some matches on a dresser because my mom and dad used to, smoke. So I took the matches, the box of matches, and I threw it in the generator, like air conditioning. And it caught on fire. It literally caught on fire right away. I hurried up and like ran out to the living room, and I'm like, sister, like the house is on fire for real, for real. And she like, boy, I don't believe nothing you saying. I already was playing with her before, but this time it's for real. I'm like, the house on fire, the house on fire. She was not budging. She was still on the phone, chatting it up with her homegirl. I ran to the kitchen and it was a little coffee cup I had full of water. I ran in my mom and dad room again, and I would throw the water onto the fire, and it got bigger. It kept getting bigger. I think I ran to the kitchen like 2 times to get water. As I threw the water, it got bigger. And I was so scared, and I wanted to put it out because I was like, oh my God, like my mom and dad gonna kill me. Because, oh, probably shouldn't have said that word. They're gonna get me, honey, because our house on fire, their room on fire. So I was a kid, I didn't really know any better. I ran in the closet. Now I grabbed a blanket off the bed and I ran in the closet and I put it over my head, and a fire was spreading throughout the room. This time I could feel the heat near the closet. So I jumped out of the closet, and it was a box of snacks on the dresser. My mom used to always have these like Debbie cakes. I went and grabbed them Debbie cakes, honey, and I ran out the door. And I ran to the next door neighbors, and I banged at their door. At 5 years old, I was really, baby, I was on it. I banged at their motherfucking door. That old lady came to the door, like, what's wrong? What's wrong? Sweetie, what's wrong? I'm like, our house on fire. I tried to tell my sister, she don't believe me. And the lady was like trying to calm me down, and I remember her calling the police and telling them that the house is on fire. So they came, fire trucks came. I ended up running back over to our house, and I remember my sister was coming out of the shower. Cause remember I said my other sister, I had 3 sisters all together, right? My other sister, she was coming out of the shower, out the bathroom, and the fire was right at the door. She had to jump over the fire. So now both of my sisters, they're aware of the fire at this time, and we all get out the house, right? So we just like watching the house burn down, and my older sister, she was like, wait a minute, our oldest sister is still upstairs. So we all freaking out, like we all like run back in the house. Well, they wanted me to stay. The police was trying to have me, hold me down. But we literally ran back in that motherfucking house, honey. It's like burning down. The fire is like throughout the whole downstairs. I couldn't even get past like the front door, to be honest. While my sister literally like jumped over the fire and got up them stairs and got my sister and my nephew up, because my sister was in a deep sleep, honey. And it's, the smoke from the fire is really, really thick and dangerous. So she ran up there and got her before the smoke got her, because the smoke was traveling up there, honey. And she woke her up and got her and my nephew out safely, honey. So my sister and my nephew is 100% okay. They made it out safely. It was a good thing that my sister remembered. It wasn't for my sister to remember, like, oh my God, because I didn't even know, and my sister that's close to age, the one I was telling her that was on the phone, we didn't even know that she was there. I guess my other sister, she kind of really didn't know, but I guess she just happened to think of it, like, wait a minute, they did come home last night, and she just happened to just like remember, like, if it was like one more minute, the whole downstairs, the fire would have been too big to get through. The smoke would have traveled up them stairs. If she would not went up there and got her, baby, it would have been a wrap for my sister and my nephew. So I always feel bad about it. I'm like, oh my God, I literally got our house set afire. And then my mom and my brother ended up getting home. And then she just like crying and stuff. Like our whole house got burnt, like literally burnt up. The fire was too big. By the time the fire, stopped, they put it out. The house was burnt up. We literally lost out on our whole entire house. And I have 6 brothers and sisters all together, and we all was living there. So because of me, we lost the house, and we had to start all over. Thank God we had insurance on the house. We stayed in a hotel for a few weeks. My dad ended up finding a house on the other side of town. We ended up getting a house, another house. And I remember, because like I said, this was around the holiday time. When Christmas came, honey, when I tell you we had gifts after gifts after gifts, we had so many gifts. I don't think a kid on this earth had that many gifts ever. Christmas tree was full. I'm talking about we was getting gifts from so many people. Not only just my mom and dad bought us gifts. Oh, mind you, before I get into that, what ended up happening to me? Nothing. The police asked me questions. I told them that the mouse did it. And they like, how the mouse did it? That was my story, because I was so scared to tell them that I threw matches in the air conditioner. So, do not throw matches in no air conditioning. Don't even play with no air conditioning or nothing electrical. Stay away from it, because it's no joke. But yeah, I told them that the mouse did it, and I never got a whooping. I never got yelled at. I don't think no one ever even had a conversation to me about it, to be honest. I don't remember anyone being mad at me. That is so interesting now that I'm thinking about it. I've been like such a spoiled child, but I've been a spoiled child, but not the ones that take advantage. You know what I'm saying? Like a spoiled brat. I never been like a spoiled brat, but I've been really, really spoiled as a child, and still am with my parents to this day. But I got away scotch-free, honey, because I could have got that whooped, honey, but I didn't. I did not. And yeah, for Christmas we was getting gifts from like a whole bunch of different kind of families. Like we had every kind of gifts. It was a church that had donated gifts because they found out what happened. And like I said, my mom and my dad, we 6 kids. You know, it was so many families hearing about it, and they was donated gifts. The church gave us a whole bunch of gifts. Plus, my parents bought us gifts. Baby, we had hundreds, maybe even thousands. We had so many gifts. It was like the biggest Christmas ever. I had gifts for years, honey. But yeah, this story time was a little hard for me to tell, even though I may have been like, you know, smiling throughout it or whatever. It was really, really hard for me because I was devastated for years after that, because I felt so guilty for doing that. I wasn't doing it on purpose. It was really an accident. I felt so bad for so many years. It took me to become an adult to forgive myself. Like, you were a child. Like, I tried to warn and I tried to tell, you know, my sister, but she didn't believe me. I did the best I could, but guess what? Everyone was safe. No one got hurt. We all got out safe and well, and we're doing bigger and better than ever. Period. So I wanted to share this story time with you guys. I'm working on sharing a lot of my story times with you guys because I know you would be very interested, because I have a very interesting life. I have plenty of stories for you guys. Some of them is gag worthy. I know this story time was like gag worthy. I have a lot of gag worthy story times, to be honest. Like, I did so much shit, but the stuff that I did was never purposely. It was always like an accident. So, I don't know. But no, I have a really, really juicy story time coming up for you guys. The time I got evicted and got my car impounded twice. I know you hoes is gagging, honey, but stay tuned. It's coming very, very, very soon. But bye, babies. I love you so much. Have a blessed day, okay?